Good afternoon and welcome to Loughborough University for WBBL Cup semi-final action between the Leicester Riders and the Cardiff Met Archers. This game following on from the NBL Division 1 women's game between the Loughborough Riders and the Cardiff Met Archers as well. So a double header for both teams, but semi-final cup action, a lot on the line, as one of these teams looks to progress to take on the Sevenoaks Suns, who await the winner, having defeated the Nottingham Wildcats 69-67 just earlier on this afternoon. Big performances in that game from Renee Bush with 23 points personal, Janice Monaco with 18, and Kat Carr going for the full 40 minutes for 14, 12 and 7. So will it be a typical grudge match in the final between the Leicester Riders and the Sevenoaks Suns, or a battle of the two teams to make it out of the South Group with the Cardiff Met Archers and the Sevenoaks Suns? We will know in just over an hour and a half's time as these two teams get ready to face off. And both teams will just observe taking a knee for the Black Lives Matter movement before tip-off. Something all teams have continued to observe as this season goes on. And it'll be Clark and Marcazotti to contest the tip, and it's won by the Riders with Henriksdotter, who immediately goes to the cup, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Riders just 8 seconds into the ball game. Lewis now for the Archers, trying to find a teammate on the wing, but it's stripped away by Hannah Robb. Jorgensen to inbound, finds Lewis. Former Loughborough and Leicester Rider herself, having played while studying at the university, back to play against her former team, although no familiar faces in the setup anymore for her. And it's a defensive stop for the Riders, allowing them to play in transition with Henriksdotter again, looking to get to the cup, but no good. And Cardiff will push the pace in transition the other end, but huge block from Kate Oliver. And that denies Mara Marchizotti in transition. And the defense has been something that the Riders have shown across their 3 games in the WBBL Cup, holding teams to just 54 points per game, leading the league in that sense. But there's 2 on the board for the Archers there, and we're tied up at 2 apiece. Winterburn finds Oliver up high. Nice pass to Henriksdotter on the back door. And Sarah Henriksdotter with all 4 points for the Riders in the early part of the game. Lewis penetrates baseline, lane's cut off by the rotation from Clark. Out to Hatch for the triple. And Cardiff take their first lead of the ball game. Winterburn, Oliver, handoff to Henriksdotter, back to Winterburn. Finds Clark, high post. That's the area she loves to operate in. And it's an easy 2 by Ella Clark's terms. And 6-5 now the score. Marcazotti across to Jorgensen, looking back into Marcazotti in the paint. Marcazotti goes at Oliver, who gets another block, a second in the early part of the game. And there's a foul called on Robin Lewis in transition, just stopping the break of the Riders. And so Holly Winterburn will inbound from the sideline into Hannah Robb. Robb finds Clark, across to Oliver. Toes on the line, 2's no good anyway. And Cardiff will look to push again in transition. Both of these teams looking to play high-paced basketball. And the foul's going to be called on Hannah Robb. It's going to be for a reach. Inbound from the Archers. It's in the hands of Jorgensen. Finds Hatch. Hatch into Wagstaff. Finds Marcosotti at the elbow. No good, and it's rebounded by Clark. Clark, phenomenal outlet pass from Ella Clark to the rim running Kate Oliver for 2, and the Riders extend their lead to 3. And that's something the Riders do really, really well. The defense really fueling their offense, and there's another opportunity in transition here as Henriksdotter gets the lefty lay-in to go off the assist from Oliver. Hatch hands off to Lewis. Back to Hatch for 3. She's already got 1. No good on the second, and the rebound for Winterburn. Henriksdotter shaking and baking. Gets it back for 3. No good. And there's a big battle for the rebound between Hatch and Oliver. It's the Archers that come up with it. Lewis gets the handoff back from Hatch. Finds Jorgensen in the corner. Goes at Henriksdotter into the paint. The lefty floater is no good, and it's rebounded again by the Riders. Clark playing point guard for the Riders at the moment. Finds Winterburn on the post up. Out to Robb. Hannah Robb for 3. And it's an 8-point lead already for the Leicester Riders here at Loughborough University. Wagstaff on the perimeter. Finds Marcosotti. And the pass deflected on the way over to the perimeter, so it'll be Jorgensen to inbound. Into Hatch. Jorgensen gets it back off the handoff. And another flare into the high-low action for Marcosotti, who can't get the 2 to go off the hook. And the Riders will come away with another offensive possession. Clark inside to Robb. Robb kicks out to Henriksdotter, finds Clark for 3. And that's awesome ball movement from the Leicester Riders. And it will force head coach Steph Collins into an early timeout midway through the first quarter, as the Riders shooting the early story in the ball game. 16 points on the board in just 4.5 minutes of action. Shooting 6 for 9 from the field. Sorry, make that 7 for 10 from the field for 70%. And we've seen in the earlier group games for this Riders team, having gone 3-0, they can both score in multiple ways, but they will also lock teams down. I was saying before at the start of the broadcast, they have the lowest opponent's points per game at 54, but they also lead the lead in their points per game at 74. It's the biggest differential with 20 points per game. The average margin of victory over their first 3 games in the WBBL Cup. And it's that form that's led head coach Jesper Sundberg to claim the Coach of the Month honours for the month of November. Well deserved for that perfect 3-0 month. So about to get back underway. Maybe Hatch to inbound into Lewis. Finds Jorgensen looking inside at the post up. Lewis gets it back on the perimeter. Finds Wagstaff, comes off the screen. Back to Marcosotti, who's stripped away. Comes out to Hatch. Has to shoot it with the shot clock running down, and is rebounded by Ella Clark for the Riders. Winterburn getting the Riders into their offense from that combo guard position that she's played so well since her return from Oregon. Finds Clark, who fades away for 2, doesn't quite get the roll. Robb comes up with the offensive rebound but can't find the kick out to her teammates. And Cardiff will come away with the ball. Lewis again looking to drive baseline, but another good help rotation from Clark. Allen into the game now as well. And another good rotation from Allen. And The Riders' defense showing why they're so hard to score on when they have active and mobile off-ball defenders. A tough foul on the rotation. That one's going to go on Hannah Robb. It's her second. She'll head to the bench, and Anna Leppenkupper will come in. German international in her first year with the Riders. Meanwhile, Wagstaff at the line to shoot 2. Gets the friendly roll on the first one. And another friendly roll on the second one. And then we'll head to the bench as Laura Shanahan comes in for Cardiff. Leppenkupper finds Allen high post. Taken away by the Archers. Lewis looking to go coast to coast, but the driving lane cut off by Clark. And just a slight defection off the leg of Sarah Henriksdotter. But again, the Riders' rotations on the defensive end making it extremely tough for Cardiff. 6 minutes into the ball game, Riders leading by 10, 16-6. Shanahan has it, finds Jorgensen. Reversal to Hatch. Hatch gets into the paint, kicks out to Shanahan. Shot clock though was about to expire, and that's a shot clock violation. The Riders getting the possession back. Ball is in the hands of Leppenkupper. Henriksdotter almost loses the handle. Finds Winterburn on the post up. Can't get the 2 to go inside though. And that's 3 possessions now where the Riders have looked to post up their bigger guards. Lewis has it. Reverses to Hatch. Shanahan's free's no good, and it's another rebound for Ella Clark already. Winterburn now comes off the screen from Allen. Gets some separation. Looking to go downhill at Jorgensen, and does just that for 2. Jorgensen guarded by Winterburn. Finds Shanahan. Hatch can't get the reversal, but finds Furland. Back in the hands of Lewis. Shot clock again looking to expire. Lewis goes up and under. Throws up the floater, no good. And rebounded again by Ella Clark. Clark now pushing the pace from the forward position. Finds Allen. Allen will look to go downhill. And Allen is fouled as well. And the subs on both sides. As for the Riders, Winterburn and Clark head to the bench. Oliver and Ainge come in. And then for the Archers, Jorgensen will head to the bench. And Kim King will come in. Whitney Allen at the line to shoot 2. Gets her first to go. And makes the second, so converts on both, and the Riders lead now at 13, the largest of the game. Lewis looking to penetrate downhill, driving lane cut off again. Shanahan tries to reverse after the ice. It's going to trickle over the halfway line and will be a backcourt violation. So Sarah Henriksdotter to inbound for the Riders. Into Anna Leppenkupper. High post. Whitney Allen. Reversal through Oliver for 3. No good, and rebounded by Furland. Again, Robin Lewis pushing the pace for Cardiff. There's a reaching foul called on Whitney Allen. And a sub as Sarah Jorgensen will come back into the game. Robin Lewis heads to the bench for our first break of the ball game. It's King to inbound. Gets it into Shanahan. Back to King. Hatch. A second triple for Shannon Hatch. 6 points early on the board for her coming into the ball game, averaging 10 a game. And Whitney Allen going downhill again with the lefty scoop. And the Riders being super aggressive in attacking the basket against this Cardiff Archers team. Shanahan kicks out to Furlan, finds Hatch, who's on two. Short on that one. It was rebounded by King, who can't get the second chance to go, but then her miss is tipped out of bounds by Sarah Henriksdotter. And Mara Marchizzotti will come back in for the Cardiff Met Archers, who have the ball in the hands of Kim King. Now with Furland. Shot clock's down to 5. Marchizzotti has to put up the 2. Doesn't quite get the roll. And it's Allen who comes up with the rebound before a jump ball was called. And a wry smile on the face of Whitney Allen. And she would argue that she had the ball before the whistle was blown. King steps inbound off the inbound. Free is no good. Ball comes out to Oliver. Oliver rebound and running in transition. Kicks to Ainge. Ainge finds Lappenkupper, who gets into the paint and the roll. And will head to the line for the bonus. And for anyone that's watched this Leicester Riders team play in the early part of this WBBL season, we've talked often about how their defense will always fuel their offense. And at any opportunity they can do, they're looking to get out and run and play in transition. And already have 6 fast break points on the board. And Anna Lappenkupper at the line converts on the M1 free throw to extend the lead to 15, 25 to 10. We're under 30 seconds left to play. Marchizzotti has it. Marchizzotti hands off to Shanahan. Behind the back pass to Marchizzotti, has to put up the 3 because the shot clock is again expiring. And the long rebound comes out to Henriksdotter. Henriksdotter is going to go coast to coast. Somehow manages to get the shot up through a lot of contact from Shanahan. And Henriksdotter will go to the line to shoot 2. Henriksdotter no good on the first in her second season at the Riders and the 2020 WBBL Trophy final MVP. Converts on her second. Jorgensen, game clock at 3. She's going to have to put up a heave. Gets one up, front rim, and no good. And at the end of the first quarter here at Loughborough University, it's the Leicester Riders 26. The Cardiff Met Archers 10. And one of the strong points for the Riders in the month of November was that they twice had 5 players scoring in double digits in those 3 wins that they had throughout the season. And that's looking like it's going to be no different today, with how the scoring spread across their roster. Henriksdotter with 6, Clark with 5, Allen with 4, and then multiple other players with 2 or 3 on the board already. Up to their biggest lead of the ball game in the early first quarter by leading by 16. At the other end, Cardiff just struggling to take the lid off the basket at the moment, shooting 3 for 19. You have to give credit to that Riders defense, because we talked so many times about how they are so disruptive. They have size and length at every position, and it can make it really tough for their opposition to find good looks. And that's no doubt what the Cardiff Met Archers would have been talking about in that timeout. And so the second quarter will get underway with the Riders with possession. Be Winterburn to inbound, checking back into the game. And inbounds to Anna Leppenkupper, the German youth international. Leppenkupper finds Winterburn on the curl. Winterburn's 2 is no good and rebounded by Jorgensen. Lewis has it now. Comes off the screen from Marcazotti, kicks back Marcazotti for 3. And that's nothing but nylon from Mara Marcazotti in that battle of the bigs between her and Kate Oliver. And one of the stories of the game as the game continues. Gaskin hands off to Winterburn. Nice pass from Holly Winterburn to find Gaskin on the roll, but she can't quite keep a hold of it. Holly Winterburn showing the vision from that combo guard spot. Lewis. Comes off the screen from Marcazotti. Gets some separation. Kicks back up high to Warren. King has to throw up a heave and it's rebounded by Oliver. And again, the Riders in their primary transition break. Lappenkupper gets inside. Fouled on a wide open layup after she got the defender on her back. Couldn't quite convert, but will head to the free throw line to shoot 2. No good on the first at the line from Anna Leppenkupper. Converts on the second though. That's the first points on the board this quarter for the Riders. King has it, looks inside to Marcazotti, backing down against Oliver. Nowhere to go, gets her own rebound off the glass though, but can't get the second chance opportunity either. And the Riders through Gaskin finds Winterburn. Lappenkupper. Skip pass inside then to Oliver, fades away for 2. Jorgensen finds Lewis, looking inside to Warren, backing down against Gaskin. And tapped out of bounds, last touch by Anna Leppenkupper. Jorgensen to inbound for the Archers. It into Lewis. Lewis looking to go downhill, met by Oliver. The kick back to Marcazotti's no good. And Robin Ainge in the ball game for the Riders comes up with the rebound. Ainge having just played in the game before for the Loughborough Riders, as well as a couple of the Cardiff Met Archers team as well. Double header between the two sides. Jorgensen again coming off that screen from Marcazotti, loses the handle, and it's in the hands of Robin Ainge. Ainge a little bit indecisive whilst playing in transition and is called for the double dribble. Jorgensen inbounds to Lewis. Back to Jorgensen, rip through against Ainge. Nowhere to go on the baseline penetration though. And a foul called. That one's going to go on Anna Leppenkupper. Molnar to inbound. Gets it into Jorgensen. Marcazotti up high. Finds Hatch. Hatch puts up the three. In and out. Rebounded by the Riders with Leppenkupper. And the advance pass gives the Riders the advantage. Ainge to Oliver. Kicks back out to Winterburn. Ainge comes off the screen. Flips it back to Winterburn up high again. Shot clock's down to 6. Winterburn has to make something out of it. Step through, no good. Gaskin. And just a little bit of confusion as Cardiff thought they had the rebound and looked to run. But there's been an offensive foul called on Holly Winterburn. And it's for blocking the path of the defense as Gaskin was looking to find some separation. And there'll be a couple of subs as Ella Clark comes back into the game for Riders, and Katie Januszewska comes in for her first action. Lewis guarded closely by Leppenkupper on that perimeter. Molnar gets inside, and that's another block for Kate Oliver. Third of the ball game. Inbound to Hatch. Hatch is stripped away by Leppenkupper. And Winterburn. It's Oliver on the rim run. Oliver to that lefty hook. It's good. And the foul is called on Mara Marcazotti. And Kate Oliver will head to the free throw line to add to her points total. Doesn't convert at the line, is rebounded by Hatch. Robin Lewis pushing ahead to Sari Jorgensen. Short corner two's no good, rebounded by Clark. Winterburn over the top to the rim running Kate Oliver. And went with a weaker right hand. Put a little bit too much on the layup. And lets Cardiff off the hook. Hatch, short twos, no good, rebounded by Winterburn. Winterburn uses the screen, goes to the Euro step, dump off pass to Clark. Easy two. Just around the charge circle. And the lead for the Riders now 20 at 33-13. Marcazotti comes up with a loose ball. It's with Jorgensen. Shot clock's down to 7. She has to get inside, has to throw up the scoop shot. Gets her own rebound. Front rim. Januszewska comes away with it, and Clark is all on her own in transition. And that's going to force the Cardiff Archers into their second timeout of the first half, trailing by 22, 35-13. The Riders lead. And talking about the route to the semi-final, the Riders coming into it 3-0, having defeated the Manchester Mystics 65-46. Following that up with a victory 61-48 against the Nottingham Wildcats. And then just last weekend defeating the Newcastle Eagles 96-71 behind a huge 36-point fourth quarter. They're trailing for large parts of that game, but dominating the final 8 minutes. Whereas Cardiff on the other side, losing the 2 games that they played, but advancing to the semi-final by virtue of a 20-0 victory versus Oakland, following the postponement of that game due to COVID-19 by Oakland's, and the way the rules and regulations of the WBBL have been written this year is, especially for the WBBL Cup, that any games postponed would be a 20-0 forfeit. And almost by a technicality, it's that 20-0 forfeit that's got the Cardiff Archers into the semi-final, where they're currently trailing by 22 as we get back underway. Hatch up high, got it by Clark. Finds Lewis on the perimeter, back inside to Hatch. Out to Shanahan. The Riders switch the ball screen. Shanahan, shot clock down to 5, has nowhere to go. Ball comes out to Hatch, who puts up a 2. And that's a tough finish from Shannon Hatch. Rob guarded extremely tightly by Robin Lewis, who has to give it up to Clark. Clark and Oliver with that high-low as Oliver fades away, back rim and out. Lewis advances to Molnar. Molnar gets into the paint, loses the ball out of bounds, but it will still be an Archer's possession. A last touch by the Leicester Riders. Molnar to inbound. To Furland, finds Lewis. A lot of contact on the drive, but no foul called. Ball comes up into the hands of Hannah Robb, who kicks out to the corner to Henriksdottir in transition. Rebounded by Katie Januszewska. Clark now up high. Shot clock down to 5. Clark has to penetrate, stops, fades away. Shot just rolls over the rim. And it's Molnar who has it for the Archers. Back to Lewis. Lewis comes off a step-up ball screen from Hatch, who pops for the 3. Turns it down though. Reverses to Molnar, who will shoot it. No good. And the Riders again in transition as Henriksdottir finds Januszewska all alone and puts the Riders up 22. Hatch hands back off to Lewis. Another step-up ball screen from Furlan to get Lewis going downhill. Kicks out to Shanahan, who finds Hatch, and that's blocked again by Oliver inside. Takes Kate Oliver up to 4 blocks for the ball game already, and she'll head to the bench for a well-deserved rest as Whitney Allen comes back into the ball game. Wagstaff to inbound from the baseline. Finds Shanahan. The 2 from Shanahan's no good. And Henriksdottir comes up with a rebound. Will go herself. Hands off to Rob. Rob trying to go downhill. Has it stripped off of her own knee. And Robin Lewis will get the Archers into their half-court offense. Gets it back. Finds Hatch, short corner 2. In and out again for Hatch. And rebounded by Ella Clark. 9 rebounds in the first half for Ella Clark, to go along with 9 points, almost on a first half double-double. Rob has it on the perimeter. Comes off the screen from Allen. Allen backing down, gets into the paint. Spin move's no good, and it's rebounded by Wagstaff. Wagstaff skips across to Lewis. Toes on the line. Shot's no good anyway. Henriksdottir comes up with it. Henriksdottir is fouled in transition. And a timeout is called by head coach Jesper Sundberg. Just going to talk it over with his team. Less than 2 minutes left to play in the first half, and the Leicester Riders are well in control of this ball game, 37-15. And contributions across the board from all of their players that have stepped foot on the floor so far. Cardiff, meanwhile, really struggling from the field, shooting just 13%. as they're 5 for 36. And one bright spot for them has been Shannon Hatch. Has 10 points personal to go along with 4 rebounds. As we said at the top of the broadcast, the winner of this game will progress on to play against the Sevenoaks Suns in the WBBL Cup final, in which Sevenoaks are looking to defend their WBBL Cup title, and we'll be awaiting the winner of this ball game. They just progressed through after a nail-biting victory over the Nottingham Wildcats that was back and forth the entire game. Only winning by 2 in the end, but some big performances from their big performers. And Rob has it, reverses through Henriksdotter, looking to drive baseline. Henriksdotter gets into the paint, fades away for 2, and that's no good. Rebounded by Wagstaff. Shanahan now for the Archers. Stripped away by Rob, and Rob will look to go in transition, gets inside, takes the contact, but can't quite convert at the line, at the rim, sorry, and so will head to the free throw line. Foul's going to go on Laura Shanahan. Rob makes the first. And the second. So both good at the line for Hannah Robb. Her first season with the Riders, having joined from Caledonia Pride. Came into the game averaging 7.7 points in her previous WBBL Cup games. Harry has it. It's now back in the hands of Shanahan. Looking to drive baseline off that step-up screen. Finds Ferlin. Ferlin's 2, rows around and doesn't go. And Henriksdotter spin move from Henriksdotter, gets in the paint, kicks out to Clark, extra to the corner to Januszewska for 3. Front rim no good, and is rebounded by the Archers. Shanahan trying to get past the pressure of Rob into Hatch, gets it back. Shot clock again down into the single digits for the Archers. Wagstaff realizes and has to put up the shot. No good, rebounded by Clark. Clark ahead to Januszewska. Back to Clark, wide open on the 3-point line. And the Riders will just see out the final possession of the half with Ella Clark. Out to Henriksdotter for 3, no good. And at the end of the first half, it's the Leicester Riders dominating the scoreline, leading 39-15. But a low-scoring affair in the second quarter, just 13-5 in favor of the Riders. But again, the Riders with that defensive pressure and intensity on display, holding Cardiff to just 15 in the first half. Again, contributions across the board from all teams. Ella Clark, standout performer so far for the Riders, though, with 9 points and 9 rebounds. Almost a first half double-double. And as we were saying earlier on, Shannon Hatch, the one bright spot so far with 10 points personal for her. So we're going to take a short break for half-time here at Loughborough University. And we'll be back for second half action in just a little over 10 minutes. Welcome back to Loughborough University, where we are for WBBL Cup semi-final action between the Leicester Riders and the Cardiff Met Archers. At the moment, it's the Leicester Riders who are dominating the ball game, up 39-15 over the Archers. And standout performances across the board with multiple contributions for the Riders. Ella Clark pacing her team with 9 points and 10 rebounds. Sarah Henriksdotter chipping in with 7 and 6. And then 6 points for Kate Oliver and 5 points for Hannah Rubb. For the Cardiff Met Archers, though, the story has been finding good shots, shooting just 5 for 39. They've actually taken care of the basketball pretty well, only 7 turnovers in the first half. But that Riders defense causing them all sorts of trouble in trying to find good looks both at the rim and open jumpers on the perimeter too. Shannon Hatch pacing her team with 10 of their 15. The other 2 scorers on the board, Sarah Wagstaff with 2 and Mara Marcazzotti with 3. I'm going to look for those 2 to step up. Marcazzotti came into the game averaging 12 points. Going to need a little bit more contribution out of her. And let's see now what the Archers can combat with after the halftime break. Marcazzotti has it up high. Finds Jorgensen. Wagstaff trapped up high and a foul called. Foul's going to go on Ella Clark for reach. So it'll be Wagstaff to inbound from the sideline. Gets it in to Marcazzotti. Back to Wagstaff. Penetrates. Out to Hatch for 3. No good. And the long rebound will head out of bounds. So Oliver to inbound into Lapham Cooper. Stagger screen set for Robb, who's bumped off ball. And bumped by Sarah Wagstaff. Immediately heads over to apologize. I don't think she meant to bump her quite as hard as she did. Robb comes off the double screen, finds Oliver. Oliver looking inside to Clark. Clark finds Lapham Cooper, cutting baseline, and the lefty lay-in rattles around before dropping home for 2. And the first points of the second half go to the Leicester Riders to extend their lead. Up now by 26. Wagstaff finds Marcazzotti. And Lewis drives baseline, gets the left-handed layup. And that's her first points of the ball game early in the second half. Winterburn with the catch. Kicks back to Lapham Cooper for 3. Long rebound comes out to Oliver in the corner, who makes sure she gets her feet behind the 3-point line and gets the 3 to go. Marcazzotti finds Hatch. Hatch reversing through Wagstaff. Back to Hatch. Shot clock down to 2. Hatch has to force the shot up. Winterburn comes up with the rebound. Lapham Cooper penetrates, kicks to Oliver, same spot as she was before, but just stepped on the sideline. Hatch to inbound into Sara Jorgensen coming into the game averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds and 2.5 assists in their 2 previous games. But today Jorgensen held to 0 points. And there she is finding Hatch inside. Back to Jorgensen, nowhere to go on the drive. And the jump ball call will go in favor of the Leicester Riders. Be Winterburn to take the inbound and gets it straight back. Gets it off the handoff from Rob, penetrates baseline. Tries to find the corner pass to Lappenkupper, but it's taken away by Wagstaff. Keeps it in the hands of Lewis. Mokazzotti, similar sort of pass at the other end. And fouled by Oliver. So Jorgensen will head to the free throw line to shoot 2. Makes the first. And the second to trim that lead to 25. Lappenkupper goes downhill, finds Rob, who's blocked. Rob comes up with the ball herself, finds Lappenkupper. Winterburn kicks out to Oliver for 3. Front rim, no good. And a lot of contact on the rebound, but it's the Archers who come up with it. Now in the hands of Robin Lewis. Mokazzotti trying to body Oliver. Spin move and the hook shot goes. Winterburn into the horns action with Oliver. Comes off the screen from Clark. Another screen from Clark. Finds Rob for 3. And Hannah Robb converts another from the 3-point line. Rob now 2 for 2 from long range. As Jorgensen gets inside, but the lefty lay-in is no good. Lappenkupper, loads of time and space, penetrates in. And the left-handed floater extends the lead to 28. Jorgensen comes off the screen from Hatch, kicks back. Full reversal again from the Archers, trying to get Wagstaff attacking downhill, but it's stripped away. And the Riders have numbers in transition. Rob finds Clark. Winterburn back to Clark. Too much time and space. Shot clock down at 8. Winterburn backs up. This time finds Clark in range and in rhythm. But the two's no good. And a pass by Wagstaff, just a little bit too much on it for Sara Jorgensen, and heads out of bounds. Henriksdotter inbounds to Rob. High post. Oliver looking inside for Winterburn. Winterburn fouled on the baseline by Kim King. And there's a timeout called by head coach Jesper Sundberg. And I think that's a good timeout from Coach Sundberg there, coming out in this third period. And it's been a little bit of a slower affair. The Riders lead in this quarter 10-6 to extend their lead for the overall game. But a little bit of sloppiness creeping into their play. A couple of extra turnovers on the board already. And just not the urgency to play, especially on the offensive end that we've seen from them in previous games. And difficult when you're up as big as they are. But teams will chip away, and you don't want complacency to come into your play at all. And they'll be preparing for other games to come ahead as well. And so we'll see what the reaction is like out of this timeout. Also gives them a chance to set up their baseline out of bounds play. And it'll be Henriksdotter to inbound, gets it into Allen. Winterburn comes off the double screen on the baseline into Allen. Back out to Oliver for free, no good. And last touch apparently by a Riders player, but the reaction in the gym from both teams would have said that it's probably the other way. But ball in the hands of the Archers now. Jorgensen has it in the corner, shaking and baking against Rob. Finds Marcazotti for two. And Mara Marcazotti gets just her third field goal of the game, but takes her to 7 points personal. Rob off the screen from Allen, tries to kick back to Allen, deflected by Hatch, but the Riders keep a hold of possession. Rob comes off the screen from Oliver, kicks back to Oliver, who's going to attack Marcazotti downhill. Rebounded by Hatch, and that one's a held ball. Possession goes to the Archers, and we'll also see a sub as Katie Janazuska comes back into the game for Hannah Robb. Lewis has it now. Lewis kicks back to Bunyan's free, is no good. Bunyan into the game for the first time, having played in the game beforehand against the Loughborough Riders Division 1 women's team, as well as a couple of the Riders players as well. Winterburn finds Allen up high. Oliver. And Oliver just clipped her teammate, Holly Winterburn, in the face. That one is completely accidental, of course, but Henriksdotter with the footwork inside. Can't get the layup to convert. And Cardiff will come down the other end. Jorgensen double teamed as the Riders scramble to get back to their matchups. Shot clock expiring. Shot no good by King, and it's a rebound for the Riders again. Winterburn into Oliver, finds Janazuska on the backdoor cut. Out to Henriksdotter. Henriksdotter's pass. Didn't quite see the defender there who took it away. Marcazotti backing down on Oliver. Another block for Kate Oliver. Her fifth block of the ball game. And absolutely patrolling the paint for the Riders. And another couple of subs for the Riders as Winterburn and Oliver head to the bench. Marcazzotti also heading to the bench for the Archers. And that's a case of head coach Steph Collins just trying to match up the two bigs. So when Oliver gets her rest, Marcazzotti looks like she's going to get a rest as well. Lappenkupper takes a tumble. Henriksdotter Euro step. No good at the rim. And the Archers come away with another rebound. Bunyan finds Lewis. Lewis into the paint, turns the corner. Can't convert. Furlan's there to tidy it up, but she can't convert on the second chance. And both teams' last few possessions just struggling. Both getting good looks at the basket. Struggling to convert and make them count. Taken away by King. King's going to go coast to coast. And another one where just can't convert once we're at the rim. Lappenkupper now comes off the screen from Allen. Finds Clark, who then finds Allen inside. And there's going to be a hold call. That one's going to go on Isabel Bunyan. And the sub's going to see Robin Lewis head to the bench for a well-deserved break. As Denisa Molnar comes back into the ball game. Januszewska just inside the three-point line. Two's no good from Katie Januszewska. And Shanahan now on the wing for the Archers, guarded again by Henriksdotter, looking to take away that middle drive. Stop the reversal. Furlan tries to find Bunyan inside, finds her. Bunyan blocked by Clark. And there's 2 left on the shot clock. Molnar gets it in. No good. And rebounded by the Riders. Lappenkupper after a good seal from Clark. King wrapped up and a foul called. Foul's called on Whitney Allen. It'll be her second of the ball game. Molnar to inbound. Shot clock's turned off with just 10 seconds left in the third quarter. 9.8 now on the game clock. And after originally calling it an Archer's possession, it's a Riders ball. The referees confer, so the Riders will get the last shot of the quarter. Lappenkupper kicks to Henriksdotter, corner 3, no good. And at the end of the third quarter, the Riders take it 12-8 and lead the ball game 51-23. This one looking like a foregone conclusion. With the Sevenoaks Suns awaiting the winner in what will be the final of the WBBL Cup. It's looking highly likely now that it's going to be a Leicester Riders versus Sevenoaks Suns final. And how many times have we heard that over the past few years? Those two adversaries will both look forward to trying to get some of the first silverware of the WBBL season. Both teams just retaking the floor. Again, following the protocols as they hand sanitize on the way back out. It'll be a Riders' possession to get the fourth quarter underway. Lappenkopper guarded by Jorgensen. Finds Clark. Clark to Allen. Reverses through Januszewska. A high pass to Clark, who somehow manages to gather it. Lappenkopper skip pass to the corner to Henriksdotter. Henriksdotter through a lot of contact. Allen came crashing in for the rebound and manages to secure it for the team. Clark, high post, 2. And that's as much of a guarantee as you can get in the women's game. As Ella Clark with that 2 gets a double-double of 11 points and 11 rebounds now. Molnar into the paint, loses the handle. Henriksdotter comes up with it. Henriksdotter with a step through and will be fouled by Sarah Jorgensen. And so Sarah Henriksdotter heading to the free throw line. Second trip to the line a day. Split her free throws in her first trip, 1 for 2. Makes her first. No good on the second, so still 50% from the line for Henriksdotter. Up to 8 points personal in the ball game now. Shanahan loses the handle, somehow manages to keep it though. Finds Hatch in the corner for 2. Rebounded by Whitney Allen. Allen pushing in transition from the forward spot. Hands off to Lappenkopper, comes off the screen. Finds Clark. Clark finds Allen all alone, I was going to say down the lane, but missed the layup. And then cleaned up by Sarah Henriksdotter. Molnar chased by Januszewska. Drives baseline. Dump off pass is stripped away by Clark. And Henriksdotter again going in transition. Lappenkopper now into Clark. Clark steps back for 3. Front rim doesn't get the roll. Rebounded by Furland. Shanahan crosses over into the paint and blocked by Sarah Henriksdotter. And we will have a timeout on the floor for head coach Steph Collins. The Riders currently leading 56-23 over the Cardiff Met Archers. And a real contrast when you look at the stats across the ball game. Contributions across the board for the Riders, shooting 45% from the field. Meanwhile, down at the other end for the Archers, just 16% from the field. Having actually managed to take more field goal attempts than the Riders in the ball game. Total of 10 offensive rebounds for Cardiff, but only 2 second chance points. And they just really struggled against this Riders defense to find any sort of open looks or in range and in rhythm shots. just under 8 minutes left to play in the ball game. The inbound from the Archers to Marcazotti. Finds Lewis. Nowhere to go on the baseline drive. Again, this time manages to get down the baseline, but doesn't really have a release until she finds Mara Marcazotti. And her short jumper finds the bottom of the net. Clark hands off to Henriksdotter. Back out to Lapp and Cooper. High post entry. Allen hands off. Lapp and Cooper across to Clark. Clark for free. No good again. Rebounded by Marcazotti. Lewis now comes off that rub screen from Marcazotti. Marcazotti backing down on Clark. Goes to the hook. Can't get it to go, and it's another rebound for Whitney Allen. Henriksdotter penetrates baseline, spin move, finds Clark, short two, gets it to go. Jorgensen back down at the other end, swarmed by Ainge. Back into the game again after playing earlier on for the Loughborough Riders. Also playing against Cardiff Met Archers in WBBL Division 1 action. Ainge, nice skip pass. Finds Lappenkupper. Baseline drive to Henriksdotter. Henriksdotter fakes, Euro steps, but can't get the two to go. And the Archers will come up with it. Shanahan now. Shanahan into Marcazotti. Backing down on Clark, this time with the lefty hook. And again, same outcome as Henriksdotter comes down with the boards. Heads to Lappenkupper and can't get it in transition. And we got a stop in play. I think it was because of the shot clock at the time. So the shot clock will get reset to 21. There's 21 on the shot clock, but it also gives both teams an opportunity to make a couple of changes. Lewis to inbound. Stripped away by Ainge, sorry. Ainge ahead to Robb. Robb, tough finish inside for Hannah Robb. The fake to get the defender in the air before finishing through a little bit of contact. Lewis, again with nowhere to go off that iced ball screen. Marcazotti, her two doesn't go. And rebound gathered by Winterburn. Comes off the screen from Clark. Looking for that entry pass in to Clark in the post. And Clark with the left-handed scoop shot. Adds another two to her points total. And the Riders now lead 62-25. Under 5 minutes left to play in the ball game. Marcazotti. Back door. Finds Jorgensen. The three's no good for Maisie Harry. And the ball finds its way to Holly Winterburn. And head coach Jesper Sundberg just slowing his team down, getting them into a half-court offense. Winterburn comes off the screen from Oliver, kicks to Ainge in the corner, fake gets the defender in the air. And the little jumper off the glass for Robin Ainge extends the lead to 29. Sorry, 39 the lead as Lewis comes up with the loose ball. Lewis trying to find gaps to operate in, but the Riders defense just stopping them from doing so. Jorgensen gets into the paint and gets called for the foul. Another quick clarification from the officials to the table officials on the shot clock. Jorgensen at the line gets her first one to go. And makes the second. 38-point ball game. 3.5 minutes left to play here at Loughborough University. WBBL Cup semi-final. As the Leicester Riders will no doubt now advance to play the Sevenoaks Suns in what will be a showpiece final. Jana Zuska managed to get herself into the paint. Not quite enough on the shot. Marcazotti inside to Warren, taken away. Winterburn finds Rob on the backdoor cut, just takes her time to reset her footwork. The layup, no good. Comes down with her own rebound. And Winterburn now kicks out to Jana Zuska. Jana Zuska's two is no good. King finds Harry. Winterburn with the ball. What a pass ahead to Katie Janazuska. Holly Winterburn showing the vision to find the leaking out Katie Janazuska in transition. It's now back up to a 39-point lead for the Riders. Marcazotti into the corner to King. King penetrating. Marcazotti comes up with a loose ball. And an offensive foul is called on Mara Marcazotti. And the Cardiff Met Archers will take their final timeout of the half. And this is an opportunity for Cardiff in just their third game of this young WBBL season to try and just take some teaching from this, take some learning from it. Still a long way to play in the WBBL season. Only WBBL Cup action so far, so I'm presuming this time out from head coach Steph Collins will be about using it as a teachable moment with her team. There's not an awful lot more you can be talking about when you're down by 39 with under 2 minutes to play in a ball game. But they'll still want to get something out of these final few possessions, that's for sure. Ainge inbounds to Winterburn. Winterburn finds Oliver. Into Allen. Shot clock down to 6. Ball finds its way out to Winterburn. Winterburn kicks to Janazuska. Janazuska stops and pops. And is fouled on the jumper by Kim King. So Katie Janazuska heading to the free throw line. Yanazuska with 4 points personal already. Make that 5. 5 points for Katie Yanazuska, her first ever WBBL points with those 5. Having joined from the Derby Trailblazers, just 16 years old. Playing some good minutes in this WBBL Cup semi-final for the Riders. And an offensive foul is the call. It's going to go on Justine Furland for the Archers. Which means the Riders will get possession back in the hands of Holly Winterburn. Almost thrown away, but Winterburn does come up with the ball. Guarded so tightly by Robin Lewis. Inside to Allen. Allen backing down against Levi Warren. And a jump ball called as Allen was trying to gather her own miss. It'll be a Cardiff ball. Both Allen and Warren trying to wrap that one up. But Cardiff coming up with a possession. Lewis has it now. Maisie Harry across to King. King inside to Furland. Furland fading away. Just front rims it. And Winterburn pushes the pace ahead to Oliver. And Oliver loses the handle out of bounds. Taken away by Winterburn. Winterburn spins, kicks to Yanazuska. Ainge penetrates. And the Riders, realizing that the shot clocks have been turned off, will just dribble the ball out. And it's a huge 40-point victory for the Leicester Riders as they defeat the Cardiff Met Archers 67-27 to advance to the WBBL Cup final, where they will take on the Sevenoaks Suns. And we talked before the start of the game about how the Riders have twice had 5 players scoring in double digits in their previous 3 games. Not quite 5 today, but contributions across the board as they get 10 points from Hannah Robb, Sarah Henriksdotter and Anna Leppenkupper individually. 9 from Oliver, who's close to that double-digit mark, but standout performance from Ella Clark with 15 points and 13 rebounds, an efficiency of 26. And she shot the ball really well from deep. The other end, only the starters on the board for the Cardiff Met Archers, and that will have been a tough one for them to go through, but an opportunity to learn and move forward as they head into the WBBL Championship action, which will start in the coming weeks. So as we said, the Leicester Riders taking the victory by 40 and will advance to play the Sevenoaks Suns in the final. On behalf of the WBBL and all of us here at Loughborough University, thank you for joining us. My name's been Liam Jefferson, and we look forward to joining us for future games here on the WBBL YouTube channel.